Hi, welcome to Up Your Nerd Cred. Did you used to know everything that was happening in the Marvel and DC universes? Did finding out that some superheroes are from Marvel and some are from DC blow your mind? Has keeping track of everything happening there and then realizing that we're only talking about the comics universes, not the cinematic ones, and all the different universes with their own multiversal crises have gotten a little bit out of hand? Well, don't worry. Up Your Nerd Cred is here to talk about the gods cosplaying as men, the men cosplaying as gods, and how much the cinematic universes are really leaving out. At the end of each episode, you'll hopefully know a little bit more than you did and can up your nerd cred. I'm your casual nerd host, Cece. Zoran was out here, shoveling the snow, and honestly, I'm super excited to be able to vote for politicians who are able to go and shovel snow. More politicians who can shovel snow.
Woo! And I am your expert nerd host, AM Diaz, who has been bedridden by whatever plague has hit me this week. Thankfully, neither my co-host nor our guests will be exposed as I am in isolation and far away from everyone.
Yes, which just means that he has extra time to sit there and study and research and continue to maintain his title of being our resident expert nerd. All right? I get to ask him all kinds of burning questions each week. And if you're watching the video version of the pod, you've already seen that we have guests with us today. That's right, guys. The Solving for X team is here. And look, I know that you guys are out here doing your most Agatha thing, but I hope that it doesn't mess up the flow of continuity if maybe, we talk about not Marvel for a minute. What do you think?
It's all under the same umbrella if we're talking about Disney.
Yeah.
Disney family,
That's true. Ming Na is a triple Disney princess.
Mm-hmm. All right, so boys, how about you introduce yourselves for our audience?
Sure. I am Sean. I'm your ultimate pervy prince chaser and Disney fan extraordinaire.
I'm Kevin, a charmed resource of sorts. Actually, I'm kind of an expert of charmed, yeah. And Disney nerd as well. And so, yeah, me, Kevin. Woo!
Okay, well, about the sons and the heirs and, the humans who need to be loved.
Yeah.
Right? I think, though, that we should make sure that all of the humans who need to be loved get attention. So, our final guest.
And I am your astonishing X-Men stan, but also quite a bit of a Disney stan as well. Just was there in October at Disney World. I'm Ryan.
Jealous.
Yes, it's really nice to have guests here. I'm excited, right? Because I love nerding out with folks, but also it means that our knowledge base is even bigger, and that makes it even better. It's either that or I really want to sit there and swap stories about the ridiculous people who are at the various Disneys and trying to figure out which is the best way to not get completely wallet checked by the mouse.
Also, it's just kind of fun when you have this many Disney fans together because it always turns into a competition by the end.
Yeah.
Amen.
Unfortunately, guys, I'm sorry, but we brought our heavy hitter. Shawnee is probably one of our biggest Disney fans, so to be honest.
Disneyland
he's
crazy.
at Disneyland once a week, maybe.
But I'm also in the Disney Vacation
pass.
Club. I'm in the Disney Vacation Club.
I went on a honeymoon to Disney World with my ex-husband, and the most annoying part about that is the fact that it was wasted on my ex-husband.
Oh no.
She upgraded. The good thing is she's upgraded.
No, my husband guy, the one that we talk about, we like that one. He's great. But listeners, we're not talking about husband guy, okay? We were sitting there, talking about all of our different formats and everything. But I want to make sure that we are clear that just because we are clarifying formats and maybe wandering off of them, does not mean that we skip out on them altogether, right? Of course, right. Oh, podcast listeners, what are we nerding out about this week? And as a reminder, you can nerd out about all kinds of things, okay? It doesn't just have to be heroes and villains. So Wonder Man is out, and I'm excited about that. Nicki Minaj is the exact opposite of exciting. She's doing some weird stuff. I think she actually got one of them weird trump cards or whatever.
She's just decided, I don't want to be a famous musician anymore.
Pretty much. Also, has Ted Cruz returned to Texas yet, or do we still have 6 more weeks of winter? No? Okay. We'll find out. So, AM, what are you nerding out about?
Well, I would I was going to nerd out about Wonder Man, but I've been too sick to watch it. So I'm going back to our previous topic of He-Man and stuff like that. And I'm going to nerd out about the He-Man trailer that came out recently. That looks like it's honoring the original cartoon pretty dang well, with some exceptions.
Wait,
But
so
yeah,
is it
I'm
not
excited
like
about that.
aggressively leather daddy, or is it just that
No, it's
like the
leather
muscle
daddy. We just don't
daddies are
get it.
just like
No, it's 100% going back to the whole Adam's secret identity is taking his clothes off and getting a tan.
okay, but also isn't that like Skeletor's actual body as well? Like that whole like all them abs and everything?
Yeah, I mean, in the old stuff, he was ripped, but, butterface. But the best thing
Look at
about
his
that trailer,
voice.
the
Yeah.
best thing about that trailer, we saw Skeletor, and yet we never saw one hint of Jared Leto, and we didn't even hear his voice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So the
sorry, is
marketing
Jared
team
Leto
knows what we
attached to this
want.
project?
Oh, yeah, he's
Jared
playing
Leto's
Skeletor.
So that means it won't
I'm
do
not
well.
gonna lie, I generally have stopped watching trailers because there's a lot of stuff that's like really exciting to sit there and like delve deep into and everything. But also trailers have had a lot of fandom convinced of things like so hard, and I've had my heart broken one too many times. So I'm excited to hear about trailers, but I just don't really watch them that much. And that's fair.
I would
But
just love it if they just, cut out Leto's voice and just had the original voice actor of Skeletor do all the voice for this movie.
I have
Yeah,
an idea
boob.
about what they can do with Leto as far as like these movies in general. So
Well, what
anyway,
about our
Sean,
guests?
what are you nerding out about?
So right now, I finally started watching, if you haven't heard, the anime One Piece. It's been airing since 1999. It's still going. I've watched 15 years worth of it at this point, but
Mhm.
still have,
Oh my God, I
12
forgot
more
how long
years
that
to
thing's been
go.
on.
Yeah.
So wait, what episode are you on?
1505 or whatever.
Yeah,
What is the-
11:55 or something.
Yeah, how many episodes are they up to again, you said?
Around 11:55, I think. I'm on like 650 right now, so I still have like 500 to go. But what I love about me watching it now is it's become like a symbol for revolution. Like in other countries, they like wear One Piece to
Yeah.
their protests against the government. So like I've been getting into cool conversations with people here about like revolution. So I think it's the perfect time.
Okay, well, it's not quite the perfect time so much as just like you can't really wear a straw hat in the winter. Like, someone from the South is going to come and like smack you on the head. Like, we don't want Cereal Mom to come and get you.
So I'm in California, so I don't know what word you just used. Winter? What is that?
Winter, it's the
It's
time
the fabled
when
cold
you
times
have,
that we always hear about.
yeah, you know that those 3 minutes that you have rain? Yes. Anyway, so Kevin, what are you nerding out about?
Well, you're going off that He-Man trailer. You know who's in that He-Man trailer? Jasir Zamata, who plays our Jennifer Kale in Agatha All Along, which we're covering on Solving for X. She's in the movie, so that's exciting.
Woo!
So Sharon needs to be getting like work all the time. I
Yeah.
love her.
Just her comedic relief is just like perfect. It's just absolute. Oh God, I love her.
I've
Go
also
on,
been
Kevin,
watching
sorry.
Bewitched again. Going back to the classic.
Like
and-
Elizabeth Montgomery
Nice.
Bewitched?
yeah, it's from the very beginning.
there
I've been
another
watching
one?
through that, and it's. I guess
We don't
no, I didn't
talk
count the
about
movie.
it.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm like.
No.
No, there's only been one Bewitched. That's the only one I know of.
yeah, only one Bewitched. Yeah,
Yes.
like there's only one.
You know
Charmed.
what? You could absolutely have been watching like stuff about like the band. There was a band, Bewitched.
Fair enough.
So
That's true.
I will say
Ryan,
this.
what about you? What are you nerding out about?
I'm gonna be honest. I was gonna come and talk about how I'm nerding out about Heated Rivalry and how I'm actually reading some of the books right now. Yeah, I am a pervert. All right, sorry, I like dick.
The books are so
But,
much more raunchy,
yeah.
aren't they?
Literally, like I've never read a
have
book
to
that
read them.
actually had the word cock in it. Like actually, like as meaning no, referring to a penis and not like a rooster
An
of some
insult.
sort. So
Sir, you are
Yeah,
not
no.
reading the right books.
I am not.
There's a whole
apparently.
play called Cock that they put on New York. So yeah.
That is either that or most of your like romantasy books are written by Black authors because like from what I've seen, it tends to be that white folks tend to use cock more than Black folks.
Dick.
Black folks as a group tend to use dick.
Yep,
Like there was a whole conversation that was happening on Threads about this like a bit ago, and I was
I
just like,
saw that. I saw that.
I was
and I
not
was like-
prepared for that conversation to happen, but also I feel very gross saying the word cock. I'm just like,
But at the same time, though, as soon as I read it, I was like, it's kind of valid, though. Like when I talk to people of that, or when I talk to Black people, they'll literally be like, "Oh, dick," and then if I talk to white people, they'll be like, "Cock," and I'm like, you know what? I just like penis, guys. All right, like let's just say
Penis.
penis. Yeah.
Look, this is why Bill Burr talks about how like it's important to have friends like across the spectrum. Like you have your black friends to make sure that you put lotion on, and you have your white friends to make sure that you register your guns. I do not know if he is currently canceled, so like don't hold me to that.
Oh,
Give
that
it a
was
week,
so
we'll find
good,
out.
though.
Here's what you can
Yeah.
hold me to, though. My child is going to end up with a weird accent because this is what I am nerding out about, okay?
I love
I don't
this.
know if you went to, if any of you guys like went to Montessori school and had like the whole like number bead things or whatever to like learn to count. But BBC has basically been like, what if we take the number beads and we turn it into a whole TV show? So all of the numbers like 0 through 9 are like their own individual little number blocks, and they all have their own individual colors. So like if they're like oh, they'll have like the number blocks run into each other and have like, oh, 2 plus 3 equals 5, and it turns into like a whole other. It's so cute. And my child, I love my kid so much, but he is really, 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 really into trains lately. And by lately, I mean since he was aware that trains exist. And so number blocks being something that are not trains, I am so hype about this. You guys don't even know. Anyway, I have heard that.
And that was the wholesome part of our show.
I've heard that Heated Rivalry is going to be renewed for seasons 2 and 3. Did I 3? Oh my god.
They've got
3.
still a lot of stories and books to get through, and so
This
much
is
more
book number
raunchiness that
1.
they can tell.
Yeah. This is book number 1 out of 7, and I think 8 is being released in September. So there's going to be like a whole new couple we're introduced to.
So this is Gabe Bridgerton.
Yes,
Yep.
I watched one episode.
Oh, and Bridgerton's coming back for season 4.
it
But-
is.
I think they actually have their first lesbian in season 4 this one. Hang on. Anyway, we got to go take a quick break to double check that we have all of our like gay media just like, taken care of and queued up. And we're going to take a quick break to up your nerd cred. Welcome back. So, podcast listeners, whenever you think of the important characters from Disney or animated Disney, it's actually a little bit unusual, right? Mostly because whoever you're thinking of is probably the Disney princess lineup. The Disney princess lineup is it's the most important part of like any kind of like Disney like experience, okay?
It's the one that makes the most money, is what she's saying.
Cinderella and
Mhm.
Sleeping Beauty's castles, like if you need to sit there and show off like, like that you have given the mouse thousands of dollars, if you are like, making sure that other people are aware of the fact that you have made your pilgrimage, you take pictures in front of like Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty's castles, right? But let's be honest, I'm going to say this as the only girl who is currently here, surrounded by all of these big strapping men. As a woman who exists, she requires a male keeper. Heterosexual men apparently get very concerned whenever there is an unclaimed woman lying around. I don't know, maybe they think that we'll like, hang out in ponds and distribute swords and stuff like that. But, Walt, Roy, Bob, all the Disney heads, right? They made sure that the princesses that we were paying attention to, they all either ended up actually married or very, very clearly on the road to it, with them getting married at like the sequel or something.
With a couple of exceptions.
But generally that means that we got to find princes for them, right? It's actually really interesting with that because the Disney princes have evolved over time, right? We've gone from a largely voiceless, like kind of deus ex machina style prince to like these princes who are like actual like true partners to their princesses, like the kind of prince that you would actually expect to be worthy of women in these time frames.
In other words, they actually
Yeah.
had personalities and served a purpose.
I mean,
Mhm.
look, there is absolutely a purpose to a person who you call over just like to show up and do a thing. But, we're not talking about
couple
an
of those cases,
electrician.
though, nobody called them.
We're talking about a prince. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to talk about like, here's a few of the folks we've got. We have the prince who appears in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from 1937. The film itself was directed by David Hand as the supervising director. We also have Prince Charming, who appears in 1950s Cinderella. He's actually known as Prince Charming, right? But unless his first name actually is Charming, like I know that Once Upon a Time did something with him. Did they actually make his name Charming, like in the fairy tale?
No, that
woods?
was a name title that was
The
given to him
nickname.
by Snow White as kind of a mocking insult originally. And then it just kind of became his name for the rest of the series.
Yeah,
So,
he's
a
still
fun
gonna have
There
a
are
fact,
name.
actually two
though-
versions of him, like him and then his evil twin brother.
So, fun fact, in the comics Fables, they make a joke out of this because in all the old stories, his name is Prince Charming. So in Fables, he is divorced from each of the princesses.
my god. He's the Ross Geller of fables.
Okay, but I mean, if you've seen Into the Woods, that actually makes a lot of sense.
You're right.
A lot of
she's
sense.
cheating
really
on
does.
the princess to go with the baker's wife.
Yeah, but the baker's wife wanted to have, like a baker for bread and a son for love and a prince for whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, so Cinderella, that film was directed by Clyde Geronimi, Wilford Jackson, and Hamilton Lutski. But these princes, honestly, back in the day, they had no purpose other than to be a love interest and marry the female main character at the end of the movie. Seriously.
And commit a little bit of
Charming
casual essay.
Well, yeah, Charming sings with Cinderella and yells a little at his dad. But, I mean, I don't think his voice actor had a
Does he
long record
at any point in the original film?
hour.
Because he
Does he?
wanted to
Does
fight
he?
for the right. Yeah, he wanted to fight for the right to go look for Cinderella's slipper. And they were like, no, 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 no. And he was all. I remember it
and I don't remember him ever talking.
Yeah,
because
it was very
also
little.
like a little Disney little hint. The king and his the guy with the big bushy mustache
Duke?
in the film. Yeah,
advisor?
the Duke. Yes, advisor, consultant, something like that. They both are actually seen at Ariel and Eric's. Or I'm sorry, Eric and Vanessa's wedding. Actually, yeah.
Oh, you never
And
noticed
it,
that?
Okay, look, I will say
Mhm.
that somewhere in my parents' house is that original
The dick
box?
thing.
the dick box. I
Hot.
had the original dick.
Original
The
dick in a
original-
box.
No, it's the dick on the box. Anyway, so Snow White's
My dick
prince,
on a
though, right?
box.
Did that man actually even utter a single word to her?
He
I'm
sang
pretty
to
sure.
her.
Yeah.
I think they passed the Bechdel test more in that movie than they have conversation. The love interests talking to each other. These guys are just so useless and just a Deus Ex property in these things.
What's interesting, though, is in the original script, the prince was supposed to be locked up by the queen, and she was going to have skeletons of her past victims come to life around him, and there's going to be a lot of swashbuckling to be had. There's going to be a lot more of him. The thing was, humans at this time were kind of hard for them to draw and challenging. They even minimized Snow White's screen time. In the songs, they focus more on the dwarfs or the animals for a lot of times, so they just had a hard time with the people.
Are you telling
And it
me
was
that
especially hard for
professional
the men.
animators
If you look
can't
at
draw
the
hands?
prince in the original
Yeah, right.
animation, he looks very feminine. He does not look very defined. So they probably were just we can't spend a lot of time with this guy.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
he does now have a name in Disney canon. His name's
Florian.
not used in the movie, but his name is Prince Florian, which I don't love that
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
That was a choice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That man is a
Mhm.
homosexual who's
And
trying to make
that's the
sure that
reason why
he
you never
has
hear
somebody
Come
to
here,
take care of the
Florian.
lineage.
Yeah.
He's got lipstick. You can borrow my
All
lipstick.
right, those are some real pouty lips. That man sits there and make sure that the lining is perfect on this, right?
Cutscene is when he's taking Snow to the castle, he lets her ride ahead and then goes back for the dwarves.
I was just gonna say, you guys, there's a reason Grumpy is grumpy. All right, the prince was his first boyfriend.
Too dark, Ryan.
Ooh, I mean, you're gonna have to let things go eventually, Anyway, so let's
I'd love
move
that
on,
version of Once Upon a Time.
to the next grouping of princes, right? So we've got who I'm gonna qualify as our kind of questionably feminist dragon slayers, right? Because these princes are there just oh well, the female main character, the person that you actually care about, is immobilized, so I kind of actually had to do something with myself, right? So we've got Prince Philip, right? Appearing in Sleeping Beauty from 1959, directed by Clyde Geronimi. And we've got Prince Eric, who's in The Little Mermaid from 1989, and that one was directed by Ron Clements and John Musker. But, with these princes, the people clamor for more action from their princes. And Disney's bet. So, Philip's out here going and flirting with Aurora, talking about, I saw you in a dream, right? He's over here telling his dad, I met the girl I'm gonna marry.
The funny thing is, the stuff that Kevin was talking about with what they wanted to do with Prince Florian and the
They
Snow
ended up
White,
doing it here. Yeah.
they ended up doing here because the jail, the escape, the
Yeah.
swashbuckling scene, all that stuff was.
It's kind of moved
I
over.
mean-
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out here doing stuff.
And it's kind of funny because this is the bridge from the I'd say, golden age of Disney movies to the Renaissance age of Disney movies.
Well, we've got
Yeah.
Eric out here as that connector piece because he's taking Ariel on a tour of the kingdom, right? He's teaching this lady how to drive. Like literally anything that she seems to think that she might want, she has. Okay, that girl has bread, like a big old loaf of bread, in her pile of presents. Okay, that man makes sure that she was fed. Oh, also Philip's slayed Maleficent while Aurora was passed out, and Eric was able to find a ship and plow it into Ursula because she Ursula had been busy taunting Ariel, who was somehow landlocked on the bottom of the ocean because Ursula decided to build a big old maelstrom or whatever.
So what are your guys' thoughts on Philip and Eric as princes?
Well, thank you for asking. This is where I rant.
Yeah.
So Prince Philip to me is the most important prince. He's not my favorite, but he's important because he sets the template for every prince after him. He's fun, he's flirty, he's action-packed. I just really appreciated that. But one thing I will say, though, I think it's easy to dismiss Sleeping Beauty and Little Mermaid for not being feminist. But when you think about the movies, Sleeping Beauty is all about the three fairies versus Maleficent. They're the ones who save Aurora.
It's their story, yeah.
It's their story, and they're the ones who actually give Philip the Sword of Truth and the Shield of Valor. Without those, he would not have beat Maleficent.
And Philip never mansplained. He willingly accepted the fairies. He knew that they knew more than him. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to succumb to your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would like to note, though, the fact that, if you know about supernatural beings, especially, if you know about fairies and stuff, all right, Philip is putting some respect on them because he knows that they are fairies and that they could kick his own ass and that he doesn't need to piss the fairies off because the last fairy that he pissed off is the reason that he's having to get help from 3 other fairies. So, it's not
was exposed to them as a child during the christening. So it's oh, look, magical ladies dropping down.
Yep.
Gonna listen to that.
Yeah. So he has to have some awareness of stuff. So I think that although again, I want to point out that within the post-war era and everything leading up to the post-war era and things like that, there's a lot of shifting gender roles and everything like that, and people are trying to figure out where things fit and how things go. And I do think that there's a lot about it that is that is quite feminist, but also at the time frame because it's very easy to trip over your own feet and just fail at the feminism kind of finish line. It is kind of messy sometimes. That just we have to make sure that the prince can do something important. So let's fully immobilize our female main character.
What about you, Ryan?
Of course, but it's also in the name, Sleeping Beauty. She sleeps.
Yeah.
I guess that's just in the that's the story. I guess I don't know. But for Little Mermaid, you want to say something about Little Mermaid, Sean?
Sure. So. Well, let's let Ryan go. Did you want to go, Ryan?
No.
Please tell me about this.
Let's give everyone a chance.
Okay.
When we get
so
to my...
part of the reason, yeah, I don't have a lot for Hercules. So part of the reason I think we love Eric is because not only does he, fall in love with the girl with the disability, for lack of a better word, because she can't talk, but the fact that Ariel is so brave that she leaves her life even without a voice to go pursue a new life. And when we look at it, I think it's easy to forget, she saved his life 3 damn times. No, 3.
Yeah.
Because she saves him when he's drowning in the beginning. She swims to the damn ship to stop the wedding, which I count that as a saving his life.
It
because
totally is.
marriage in those days, divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what is he gonna do? Throw his wife overboard? She's a sea witch.
Yeah.
But could you imagine the honeymoon? She finally drops the glamour. He's like, "Oh, that is not what I signed up for."
Right.
Then again, tentacles.
He might be into the tentacles.
No,
exactly. We don't know. We don't know if he's visited Japan on his voyages. Anyway, please continue talking
There's
about
a
Eric
lot
and
of
not
suction.
making.
Yeah. And Ursula actually doesn't plan on killing Ariel until Ariel stops Ursula from killing Eric and kills Flotsam and Jetsam instead.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only reason why
she's got kill,
Eric has
she's got
to save
kill
her.
count.
Yeah.
they're a battle couple if I ever saw one. And really the point about Eric being the one that saved the day, he's kind of returning the favor at this point.
Yeah.
Fair.
Because he has been saved a bunch of times. Plus, the merfolk folk are kind of racist to the humans, and the fact that this is a human that's fighting for them is kind of the powerful point of change in the story that they come around to him.
Yeah, although with the extended verse and stuff like that, the extended Little Mermaid verse, the fact that Queen Atlantia got by humans kind of makes it less racist and more just very cautious about the people who killed their queen.
Yeah, but they also made it entirely Triton's hang-up
Yeah,
because he
that's
made the
because
decision for everybody else.
Footloose.
Yeah, he also went full loose on Headland.
Yeah. But he also, like, honestly, we never really found out, like, Ariel's mother's true story until, like, the third one or something
Little
like
Mermaid
that.
3, Ariel's beginning. So
yeah.
good.
So, like,
Which was such a step up from Little Mermaid 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the same story in reverse. I don't mind it.
Yeah,
but
except
it's just kind of
now
the same.
Ariel's a
Yeah, I
parent.
like it.
Melody was younger than even Ariel was whenever she's running back to the sea. So, I mean, like, Ariel was too young to be doing her shenanigans to begin with, but Melody was way too young
Like
to be going back
12.
into the ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was 12.
yes.
Okay.
One thing we also haven't mentioned is
So-
just the fact that the princes got a lot more attractively drawn as we got into these eras. Like the first prince and the Prince Charming, kind of generic looking.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
What do we
sorry.
got there?
You
What do
want
we
to
got
talk
there?
about like the attractive princess? Wait, who is that? Who is that? No. Bring that
Yeah,
back.
I didn't
Who
get
is
a good
that?
look at your photo.
Who is this?
So this is an Out magazine where it is Flynn Rider and Hercules. If you guys want, I
Beardy.
can send you a photo of this.
Of course.
So you guys can
Spank
put
bank.
put this on your social media and not just in your spank bank. Yeah. No.
I'm so sorry for the
I'm
audio
just saying, it's
only
like,
people.
I do
Like,
kind of feel
come
like-
watch it on YouTube or something, okay? Because this is important to see.
But I'm
You
just saying,
wanna
it's like
see
it
this,
does feel like
guys.
that the animators started putting a little bit more emphasis not into just the personality of the character of the male princes, but also making them to be more appealing to the audiences. Like Prince Eric has very much that boy next door kind of look, huh?
We love our hot
I
boys.
would feel like you want to talk about Hot Boys, right?
Well,
You
just
wanna
pointing
talk
out
about
that
the kind
it's
of,
not
like-
just like the characterization, but also like how they're designed and developed. Because people
Yeah,
remember Prince
that's
Eric a
all
lot
cool.
more nowadays because of the fact that he's attractive as well as has a bit more personality than say Prince did. What do you guys think?
I'm just gonna say
Also-
that, like,
Prince Eric in that live action, could he be shirtless a little more?
Yes.
and they gave him so much more depth in that one too. Like, pun intended, absolutely, pun intended. I have been trying to figure out how to incorporate that for a while, so I'm very excited about this. But I want to I want to cycle back because we're sitting there talking about like how like, oh, we're drawing all these hotties and everything. So like we need to go into like the whole thing of just like straight up just like in universe thirst traps. Okay, so let's talk about the princes. We're gonna talk about Hercules, right?
Hercules.
Nobody,
Hercules.
ain't nobody gonna
Honey.
stop me and say, "Honey, you mean Hercules?" I am
was
disappointed.
literally, I
am
was pointing
disappointed by all of you.
I was pointing at Airline right now. I literally
I
was.
thought somebody else was going to do
you
it,
said
but I did it in the group chat.
Yeah. Sweet music with him? I don't know.
Mm.
Honey, you mean Hercules?
Hercules.
So
Side note, I
This,
need to see a Broadway
appears-
show just for that moment.
Yes.
yes, so like the first that one came out in 1997. It was directed by Ron Clements and John Musker, and we also have Li Shang appearing in Mulan,
Ugh.
and that one was directed by Tony Bancroft and Barry Cook.
He'll make a man out of you.
Yeah, yes. So
Girl.
beyond the
Bye,
fact
Icon.
that Disney's absolutely set up some college freshmen to be embarrassed as fuck when they find out that Hercules is 100% not Hera's son and was named Heracles so that she wouldn't kill him. Somebody's going to be so upset when they find out. But, like, do we count Hercules as a Disney prince, right? Yes.
Well,
His
100%.
birth parents are technically the king and queen of Olympus, right?
Yeah, they
you
are
know, his
legitimately
parents
the
are,
king and queen of the gods. He's a prince.
Thank you. I was gonna stand on my dais for like days to what's it called? Proclaim this. That was just for you, Sean.
No, but like, he was also like he was adopted by Alcimene and what's his face? Like, so once
Yes.
you're adopted, like your kind of status
still-
follows that, right?
It's the whole thing in any kind of story where like the lost prince, and the minute that they're found again, they're a prince again. So
Yeah, but he's like I don't know, because like
doesn't
at the end
lose
of the
his,
movie,
But at the end of the
ranking
movie,
just
weren't
because
they
he's
like
being
happy and like
his parent, like his
fruitful? Yeah.
yeah, but his other parents were still there. So like, and then he was given the option of godhood to go and like claim like being Zeus's kid, and he's just like, instead, I'm going to be like a demigod and stay on Earth with Meg, like as like humanish. So I don't
Still
know. Like I
counts.
feel like
He's still Prince.
there's arguments to be made that like he maybe like kind of gave it up a little bit. But
Can
also,
I ask
guess
you how
if-
many Disney princesses actually wound up a Disney princess at the beginning of the movie?
I mean, there's a bunch of Disney princesses. Like Aurora's already a princess at the beginning.
Aurora and
Ariel.
No.
Ariel's already a princess. Snow is already a
Anna.
princess.
But how
Anna's already a
many of
princess. Elsa's
those-
already a princess.
But Anna's not even a princess anymore now. Anna's the queen.
Well, now that's because she's the queen of Arendelle
Yeah.
with her consort.
I'm saying
only
how many
princess to get a promotion.
people's- How many people's status have changed throughout a movie? One that we haven't even brought up, Aladdin. He's a street rat, and now he's a prince at the end of the movie. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
he is riffraff. He is a street rat, but it's true. You know
He
what?
might
He's
I
also the only
don't
Disney
some might
buy
even
that.
say some might even
Yeah,
Some might say
Aladdin's
my
also the
boyfriend
only
because he's my
prince-
favorite prince.
Aladdin is also the only Disney prince who has been the title character of his movie.
It's
No,
worth noting that
Hercules.
Aladdin.
Hercules.
Okay, so
Aladdin,
I'll go back. He was the first to be the title character of his movie.
There you go.
Aladdin came
go,
out in
there you go.
1992 and was also a John Musker, Ron Clements thing. So they are making sure that we are having like some, like the two of them are making sure that we like have like some solid princes happening. Like that's something to that I kind of want to highlight a little bit on that
No,
regard.
definitely. Yeah.
So
Those are actually the two. I love that.
And the Lion King.
But also like we have like Li Shang as like, he's Mulan's husband, which I guess spoiler for the 2004 Mulan 2 or
Love it.
But like, Li Shang is married to Mulan, and Mulan is like considered like she is in the official Disney princess lineup, although technically
Neither of them
speaking,
have that
she's, like,
ranking.
she's a high ranking like, soldier.
Soldier.
But like
yeah.
she's escorting princesses. Like Mulan is
I
in
wanna
the
be
princess
like
room.
other girls.
Okay, that song did slap though, but I'm a little annoyed at like the pop
Yeah.
version because it's like
Yeah.
instead of like being no pinchy shoes, they say nor platform shoes, and I'm just like, bitch, nobody cares if you wear platform shoes. Shut up.
Right.
Now, if you're wearing kitten heels, I'm gonna judge you because like either commit or don't. Anyway. Okay, but like, you have like Mulan was like in the princess room with like all the okay, how many princesses were actually like in the princess room in Wreck-It Ralph?
God.
Who all
all
was
right,
in there?
Well,
I'll
we
find
did
out.
we did a whole gender bend cosplay of them at D23 one year. I forget how many we all had. I was Merida for that, which was super fun.
Wait, can you please send us photos of that, Kevin?
Yes, I have some on my phone.
Yeah, share that with our. We'll use it for
Yeah.
promo stuff.
If Kevin is feeling very nice, we can share that to the Instagram
Yeah.
so that you guys
Oh,
can
yeah.
see that as well.
14
It's-
princesses. Wow. Including
Yeah.
Elsa.
It is a substantive
are-
lineup.
Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, Anna, Elsa, and Moana.
Yeah, see, Mulan
Just
is
from
the
the
only
eyes.
one who's not like, daughter of somebody important.
What do you think of this era of the Disney prince where they are now playing more active roles and then sometimes they are the primary characters of the story? Like, how does this feel, especially like Hercules, Aladdin in particular, or Shang, who plays a very strong supporting role?
So I today actually spoke to a lot of my colleagues and all that and was like, hey guys, but what do you guys think of the roles that princes play? And a lot of them were like, well, they're kind of just like the side character. Like they're basically the guy from a Hallmark movie. And I was like, oh, wow, that's actually kind of good. Like that's a really good analogy actually.
So they're just
And,
Ken?
They basically are just Ken. And then people are like, well, what about Naveed? Like he had a backstory. Or what about Kristoff? Like he had a backstory. And I was like, but when did those movies come out though? Like you have to think about that. Like those were just recent movies that actually started adding character value to Princess when in the past, Prince Philip was Prince Charming was just a creep that just that kissed a princess in the woods. You know what I
Had
mean?
one song with her, it's like, I'm going to kiss her.
Exactly.
Okay, yes.
But I also
so
feel like
he's
he was saying his
Quentin
goodbye.
Tarantino, with the entire kingdom behind him.
He did nothing with her feet.
I mean, I feel like was just like, look, if you could fit this shoe, it's custom to you, and I really like what's happening with this foot right here. So, give me more. Anyway, we're not gonna
I
go
always would
on
have
to
laughed so
the
hard
steps
if he'd
of the
met this
palace.
old crone who had the exact same foot size as Cinderella.
Yeah.
It could have been anybody.
Looks like B. Arthur. He takes her home. It's like, well, she's got the right shoe.
Also, I would like
I
to
hope he
point
got
out
Blanche
that
at least.
You know what? We're not going to talk about that. Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the princes who are like actual partners to like their princesses, right? So we've already mentioned, like, we've got Prince Naveen. So he first appeared in Princess and the Frog in 2009, directed by, any guess? Ron Clements and John Musker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have like Flynn Rider appearing in Tangled in 2010, right? He's Flynn Rider, also known as Eugene Fitzherbert. And that film was directed by Nathan Greeno and Byron Howard. But yeah, I think like really they have been taking the Disney Prince. I mean, like, all right, yeah, having a title is cute, but we gotta let these like people struggle together, right? Like, I feel like the princesses are like all having a chance to do something with their prince now.
I still don't think Naveen is good enough for Tiana.
Yes, he is. Leave him alone.
No, I mean,
I'm still not convinced he would be a good long-term partner.
Right, because he literally lied to her to get her to kiss him when she clearly set boundaries and said no. He was very rapey in that.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get you prize, or I'm gonna get you make your wish come true, or get you.
Yeah, because he thought that he was going to kiss a princess and turn back into a prince because like she was dressed in Lottie's outfit. He did not lie to her. He had every intention of giving her like whatever it is that she was asking for because she was a princess. And then he goes on this adventure with her. He realizes exactly how helpless and useless he is, right? Because she's sitting there. What is she doing with them? Teaching him how to
the min scene. I do like that they compliment each other in that way. That they, they learned from each other the lessons. But I don't know.
Treated her like she knew her own mind.
But I feel like
But I get where you're coming from, Kevin, because it's just like he lived an entire life of just doing whatever the hell he wanted, and then he has like what 2-3 days with her, and so he becomes
it's only in the course of a week. They get married in the course of a week.
Yes.
So it's like, I'm not saying it's not possible.
Yeah.
You're just wondering if there's going to be a fair at some point.
The thing that was amusing to me more than anything about Tiana and Naveen, not the fact that they spend most of their time as frogs, but Disney sitting there creating Maldonia because they're like, all right, listen, we cannot necessarily like have Africa have like some sort of like rich kingdom because that's going to be too much for like our people. We can't have them like African, but we also have to make sure that like she's not ending up with like some sort of like white prince. Like, ew, imagine like what? A black princess with a white prince? What kind of sense does that make? That would never happen, Meghan Markle. So yeah, so they have Prince Naveen of Maldonia. They make up like the language to make sure that we all know that he's not like he's not from here, he's not from there.
Well, I feel like with him being kind of a scoundrel, like they probably didn't want to attach him to any country though, because that could like make that country mad. So I can see it that way too.
That's a very good point. Yeah,
foreign market, aren't they?
Yeah.
Scoundrels
designs, because suddenly they can put more generic princely outfits instead of having to go for anything more traditional for a specific region or culture.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
so it makes it easier for the marketing for kids' toys.
What's the name of Elsa and Anna's? Arendelle? Yeah, why couldn't he just be like
Arendelle, yeah.
Why couldn't he be like from somewhere like that, made up or I don't know if Arendelle's made up or not.
I mean, that's where Maldonia is made up.
Yeah.
Like they did that to make sure that like he could be racially ambiguous, so that way that like they could kind of like have Tiana paired up, like our first actively black princess like paired off with someone who wasn't necessarily white, but wasn't necessarily suggesting that black people have like actual full kingdoms somewhere.
Well, I mean, like good on Disney though for making that up though, because like they're really are they're never in the news for being bad or anything like that recently, so I understand why they would have to make
I feel
something
like
up.
No matter what race they made him, there would have been a problem.
Yeah,
people are gonna there's gonna be controversy no matter what they do the minute they decide to do anything that wasn't white Eurocentric.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they spent the vast majority of that film in frog face, I guess.
Yeah, but that leads to an entirely different topic about how people of color are constantly being transformed into other things in these kinds of movies.
I've seen that argument a lot.
Yeah.
And that would be an entire episode on its own. No, it's just there's also like other more prominent characters like Flynn Rider that you mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying like if we're talking about a scoundrel, like how many wanted posters does that man have?
And none of them had his nose right.
but
Yeah.
none. Yeah.
I
See,
believe none
like-
of them had his nose right.
I have one of those posters when I did my cosplay of Flynn Rider as well.
Did
you
none
get the
of them
nose
get
right?
I mean, it's
his last name
it's
is
a nose.
Fitzherbert. Oh my God, they didn't get the nose right because they were trying to figure out how to draw like a Jewish nose, and they're just like, do we draw like we don't want to like draw like like an overly like stereotypical nose. We don't want anyone to think that we're like being. They're trying to be woke while they're like trying to not draw his nose. Oh my God, you guys, we solved the mystery.
I actually never thought about it. That's hilarious.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know?
Love that.
Wait, does that make
Um,
Flynn Rider one of the first Jewish prince?
I mean,
Yeah.
I personally listen.
I'm Eugene
It's what-
Fitzherbert.
It's worth noting that like
L'chaim.
I am just sits there and like yells on a regular basis about like how we should get like more actual representation of people who are there. So like I was really psyched about how Eben played the Thing, and I'm just like, oh, an actual Jewish person playing a Jewish guy, wonderful, because I have a lot of feelings about Scarlet Witch and her identity. A lot of feelings about it. Cast listeners, you may want to go back to our Scarlet Witch season 1 episodes. I think they were like 8 and 9 for me to talk more about her. I love Wanda, but she's crazy. Anyway, but I do think that it's very useful for Rapunzel. It's very lucky for her that the first person that she met was genuinely a good person, right? Even if he is like, technically a villain, technically a scoundrel, because he absolutely could have let Rapunzel use her hair to save him. He could have. And the fact that he survived, like, Tangled is, very cool. But that man sat there and is just like, no, I'm sorry.
The thing is,
Like,
with
make sure
Flynn,
that, like,
you know how we were saying like we weren't sure about Naveed being like a good long-term partner? With Flynn, on the other hand, he was one of those where I believed 100% that he would be a good partner, not just in the movie, but also the TV show they did expanded on his story. And you saw that it was like, no, he's like the most supportive, sweet, loving partner.
He actually made a legitimate sacrifice, not trying to get something out of it. This was just for her well-being completely. And they didn't get married till years later. Remember? He's like, after years of waiting, he finally said yes. So
when they grew up.
Mm-hmm. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And after, a whole
We
lot of
have-
weird incidents involving the moon, the sun, and her best friend going crazy. As
She
one
probably
does.
is trying to figure out though, like, should I grow my hair out or do like I need to keep it short? I don't know. Like, what is she gonna do
Well, she
if she
didn't get a
like
say in the
dyes
matter
her
in the
hair
TV
red
show.
one day? That's fair. But no, like it is like very, very cool that he did survive and they got married and all that jazz. But I think a large part of it is the thing that really sets him apart from a lot of the other princes is the fact that like him and like Naveen as well, like they're like we're getting into the era where like the princes are actually like generally speaking viewing their princesses as a full person.
Well,
They're going on
that's
a
the thing.
journey.
I'm not entirely sure if that's because you kind of look at a lot of the stories that happened before, and most of the time the princes meet the princess without knowing they're a princess. Aladdin and Jasmine, Philip and Aurora,
Eric and Ariel.
yeah, Eric and Ariel. It's like they don't know the princess royalty aspects. They legitimately fall in love with them as who they are. Or in Eric's case,
No,
she sing good.
my clarification is actually that focusing on like she's actually he's viewing her as a full person in
But that's
that
what I mean. It's like
he
we
is
kind of saw
not-
that as far back as Prince Philip and
No,
Aurora.
no, because Philip likes Aurora and he thinks that he's great and he's seen her in a dream, but they've spent 10 minutes together.
They technically did meet as kids. Technically.
Yes, they did technically meet as kids, but she
And
doesn't
he-
have
yeah,
any
they only-
memories from that time frame
Right,
because she's
right,
like
right.
3 weeks old.
And they
Right,
only
right.
met each
You know?
other for a little while, but the thing was, he seemed to genuinely
She
like
was-
her as who she was from what he
Briar
met.
Rose. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
Briar
there
Rose
was
is a
no,
whole different
like,
persona.
Oh, there's no title here. This is like, oh, she's just an awesome
It went-
girl. I like her. I'd like to get to know her better.
It's not, but even with that, still, like, it's the 14th century. Like, there's still like a lot of like possession that exists as being a married woman. Like, there's a lot of it that like we see like men who are just getting ready to settle into whatever like the marital roles were at these times. And I feel like to a certain extent, like a lot of these early princes seems to find like, they really thought that their princess was lovely, that she was a good person. But like the way like Enchanted, where what's his face was Edward, like in love with what was that girl's name?
Giselle.
Giselle, yeah. He was he was totally in love with Giselle, like the way that like all the other princes are, right? And like he's like going and like I'm gonna go in quest and find my girl, blah blah blah, because we've like done this one thing. But he like they are supposed to be in love, but they don't really know much about each other. But Flynn and Rapunzel, I feel like you said, with their healthy relationship, it's because like they've actually like grown together,
time.
like, or they've done something as people. They have been able to sit there and experience each other as people and not as
Face
just
challenges and
yeah, she's not like a damsel, she is a partner.
Yeah, it also helps the fact that they interact with each other for longer periods. Because you kind of look
Yeah.
at some of the older films and they know each other for 10 minutes, then they're separated for the majority of the film until the climax. And I mean, even like
Choice of words.
Aladdin had a little bit of that. They knew each other for like an afternoon. They spent a decent amount of time together, had a couple of dates here and there, and then were already jumping into marriage.
Yeah. Hey, what if we had a movie that went ahead and speed ran that whole conceit and also showed that as like being a terrible idea and how we could make it better?
Wasn't that a Broadway show?
Frozen?
I feel like there's
Frozen, anyone? Listen,
Yeah, right.
I know that you guys are going to give me a whole bunch of crap. Frozen is not just because I'm up in New York City, okay?
There's also a lot of parents that the minute you hear "let it go," their eyes start twitching uncontrollably.
Yeah.
Very true.
So we have in Frozen Prince Hans of the Southern Isles. And this movie, again, as an aside, Frozen came out in 2013. So his given name is Prince Hans. His legal name is apparently Hans Vestergaard. And the film itself actually was directed by Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee. And in that same movie, we have Christoph Bjorgman, a.k.a. Christoph, a.k.a. Sven, according to Olaf. But yeah, like, I think it worked. This is like a really, like, it's a somewhat unusual Disney setup because it's just like, this is the love at first sight thing that we usually have. And this is how we're like actually like showing that love at first sight is actually like, not like you need to actually like build the relationship or whatever. Cause like you have Christoph, like, or you have like Hans coming in like all of 3 days. He's just like, I am, the fiance and like the new leader and everyone. Everyone's just like, yay. I don't know how he did it. How did he pull that off in 3 days though? Like,
I mean, honestly, who was going to run that? The Duke of Weaselton? No.
Right. There's no one around.
Weselton.
It's just
Weselton, sorry.
Have you heard the Hans theory? That he was actually a good guy on the up and up, but the trolls made him evil because
yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah, because the whole thing, like, they wanted her to marry Christoph, and they're like, oh, so we just got to get the fiance out of the way, and then they use their magic to like change his mind. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's dark.
Yeah, that
This
makes
is
the
crazy.
movie so much more tragic in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does have such a drastic personality change, and it's like, yeah, I get it that he's supposed to be manipulative, but at the same time, it's like, this is a lot.
Yeah. So I'm like, I totally
Yeah.
buy that theory. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that
they
does
had no
explain
quorums
some of the
about trying to push
fixer-upper thing.
their desires on other people. Like, they were forcing a marriage on those two, and they literally just walked into their
Yeah.
village asking for help.
Yeah.
Also, like, let's be honest, if we're talking about like Nordic cultures, they probably assume that in general the trolls are magic. So it would not surprise me if the trolls actually did something to mess that up.
Yeah, same.
But no, now that actually makes a lot of sense. And also they probably just want that like smelly dude out of their hair too, because
Right.
Hey, they adopted him. They knew what they were getting into when they brought him in.
Yeah, and they're probably just trying, like, well, I don't know how often trolls bathe, actually, but we're not talking about, like, whether or not Kristoff is showering. We're talking about how Hans is out here being like, I'm going to distribute blankets. I'm going to sit there and run all of this stuff. I'm going to, like, imprison Elsa. And, like, all of these people are, like, backing him. Why are all these people backing this man, like, putting their queen in a dungeon?
Because
Well,
they're
I mean,
easily manipulated.
Yeah, and also if you think about it, though, like, think of Anna and Elsa's story. There was no real true leader of this country for so long. Like, the leader of this country was basically Elsa, who was locked away in her bedroom for years because she was afraid of her powers. So they finally
Also,
have
she wasn't
someone-
queen yet.
But if you think about that, though, she was the next to do it, though. Like, so who knows who was doing it prior to her, though? Like, who
Yeah, that was going
knows
to be my
who-
question. It's just like,
Yeah.
isn't there like a temporary regent who steps in until the royal heir is of age?
I mean, there are probably a number of ministers who are making sure that Arendelle is still running. Like, there's, even if it's all
Including
closed up a
the
lot.
Duke of Weaselton, whatever
Whistleton.
you want to say.
Wesselton. Listen, if Alan Tudyk comes and wants to complain about stuff, about, like, mispronouncing things, I guess I'm just going to have to deal with Alan Tudyk coming on the podcast to tell us that we're, like, incorrectly, pronouncing the names of his characters. Like, am I, like, the one that he played before, was it Garai? I'm not sure. Tell us who it is that, like, how it is that we're getting our names wrong. or
Some
whatever, right?
kind.
But yeah, Hans was an interesting bait and switch kind of character, Prince. But he did kind
And
of
yeah,
check
like-
off all the traditional roles.
The Love is an Open Door song, I sing that constantly, so that's like my favorite duet. That's all. It's like, yeah.
He
I
could
loved that
finish my
song with my-
sandwiches, but not my sentences.
Ooh, you are a much nicer person than I am, because like if you snatch my sandwich, we're gonna have a conversation, and the conversation is gonna be like, if you touch
Ow,
my
ow, my
sandwich
hand.
again, yes,
Where'd my hand go?
yes, pretty much. Okay, like look, I am not Joey, and like I share food a little bit more than that, but not by much.
Yeah.
But
And then we have Kristoff, who is our golden
Aw.
retriever, antisocial. It's like
who
he's a
is willing to take a shower
combination.
though for Anna? Like he is willing to sit there and put on like whatever, like the version of the monkey suit that they have for her.
Yes,
I like you better in
but
leather.
he also has very bad socialization skills.
Yeah, Anna be nasty. But no, like so Kristoff sat there and is just like, you know, backing her up as she's like dealing with this other dude that even though like he's interested in everything in her, right? But he spends most of Frozen 2 trying to figure out how to propose to this lady while also like being actively supportive while Anna's finding out that like her granddad was trash. And, you know, her sister discovering that she's the Avatar, right? He's just like out here just being like, what do I gotta do? Okay, how can I support you? My love's not fragile.
He shelves his own agenda when he knows that Anna is showing hurt or fear. But he's like not in a way that's like he's a whipped or a doormat. He's very emotionally mature. He knows they're going to come back to these issues later, but now is not the time. Which he's such a great guy.
You see a lot of development between the kind of guy he was, who was very like dismissive of her relationship with Hans, and
Not
you know,
unreasonably.
not unreasonably, but also like very socially, you know, I don't want to deal with people at all kind of thing, to suddenly being like, oh, no, my personal hangups are not the important thing. I am here to support the lady that I love and to be emotionally mature enough to understand what is needed and what is not.
I think that's important. That's a huge growth from just like, you know, the dude who's just like going to chase people around because he's got a thing for feet, or he's engaged with his bride for like, you know, 10 minutes at a well one time, and then he sees her like dead and she's just like, I just gotta get in on that. I know she's dead, but like I gotta get in on that.
I love the fact that we've turned Prince Charming into Tarantino.
He sent all of these people out there to go and find this person based on her foot, not her face, her foot. He could have cleared up a lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of potentials in the kingdom if he'd been like, this lady was blonde.
This is how you know he had a foot fetish, because of the fact he spent an entire time focusing on the feet, never on the face.
Because, what is it? Anastasia and Drusilla are blonde and brunette.
Redheaded,
look at Cin-
brunette.
Redheaded brunette.
Yeah.
Or is he, sorry, redhead and brunette. But yeah, like, did he look at Cindy's blonde behind it all? He has an Aryan princess in front of her and he's just like, but them shoes though.
All white people look the same to him.
Listen, you can't bring up the whole white people looking alike thing, because then I get in trouble whenever I'm just like, is that Jamie Kennedy or Margot Robbie, or is it that one other lady? So we are going to take a quick break for me to double check that I have not mixed up some of my white people, and we'll be back with our thrilling conclusion.
Hey, podcast listeners, editing Cece here. Just wanted to give you a quick heads up that the conversation that we had honestly was too good to stop. But I did have to split the episode into two, so we will be back in a short bit with the thrilling conclusion. But in the interim, here's some final thoughts from the gang.
Any final thoughts? Any final princes that, you know, like any other princes that we want to bring up? We could talk about how Simba decided that he wanted to ditch the entirety of his pride because his uncle was being weird. And we can talk about how Kovu was trying to ditch the entirety of his pride because technically his daddy was weird, which was actually like, I guess, like his girlfriend's like uncle.
Might need to come back for another episode about that.
Yeah. So,
That
you know,
sounds
here's
like
what we're going to do.
deception.
Disgrace. But if we're shifting a little bit over to what's happening in the Marvel and DC multiverses, we can go ahead and all hail the Queen of Atlantis, Mara's birthday.
Nira.
I know Merida
Say it respectfully
is
or
like,
don't say
you
it
know,
at all.
Listen, we ran across that lady 3 times the last time that we were at Disneyland, and husband guy missed her every single time, okay? So, like, occasionally Merida, I get them mixed up. because they're fiery redheads who wear a lot of green who can absolutely kick my ass. And oh my God, obviously we found my type again. Never mind. Merida is a child. Anyway, Mara, the Queen of Atlantis, her birthday is January 1st.
And
Also,
speaking
your
of birthdays,
youthful and
Our-
gorgeous and casual nurse host's birthday is February 2nd. Hold for
Happy early
applause.
birthday.
Don't say that out loud. You wrote the
Happy
script.
birthday!
It is my birthday coming up soon. Yay!
Yeah.
So we also have, within this time frame before the next episode comes out, we have the debut of the man without fear, who is a very good lawyer, Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. His official release date for his first issue was February 4th, 1964. Release dates and the issue dates and things like that are always kind of funky with Marvel, but this is the release date, right? So very cool. And as we're talking about release dates, though, with the release date of February 5th, 1991, Sensational She-Hulk in Volume 1, 26, Jennifer is managing to defeat a physical embodiment of trash. A physical embodiment of trash. She doesn't
Donald
even
Trump?
does Jennifer does not live in New York, right?
Yes, she does.
I don't
It
She
all
does?
depends.
She does.
Most recently, she lives in Janet Van Dyne's apartment.
Okay,
Which is
well
in New
then
York, I
actually,
think.
yeah,
Yeah,
if it's in
yeah.
New York, then her coming to fight a physical embodiment of trash makes sense. But usually we have our trash in the bags and stuff. I don't know, But it's worth noting that New York trash is nothing to sneeze at because it took her and Nightcrawler and Phoenix to actually take it out, right? Although I'm guessing they couldn't exactly call on Captain Planet, huh?
Yeah. It is getting a reboot on Netflix. Live action.
Ooh,
Live
all
action?
right.
That's what they're stating. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that is.
I like this plan, although I haven't seen a live-action Captain Planet since Don Cheadle was on Funny or Die.
I know what you're talking about. That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, listeners, we have come to the end of our podcast. I know. How is it over so soon? Good news. Our next episode's coming out next week. You're also more than welcome to listen to this episode again if that's not fast enough. Or you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/upyournerdcredpod, where you can get solo scripts, you can get some behind-the-scenes footage, just go ahead and get signed up for it, right?
Nerd Cred takes time to build.
This is you. But if you can convince your prince to go ahead and slay the dragon or accept the fact that you were actually a girl instead of a boy, I feel you're going to have ultimately a good time.
They're going to make it.
And now it's time to mention that we have an Instagram. We're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and working on expanding our reach. If you like the episode, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe, especially if you're trying to up your nerd cred.
You can follow us on Instagram at upyournerdcredpod. If you're looking for me across platforms, I'm at Kira C. Davis, CIRACDAVIS.
And I am AMDS Art. Come yell at me about continuity errors or show me your fan art, either way. And our guests, if
The
you'd
good
like to
fan
plug
art,
yourselves.
please.
Sure. You could find me on Shawnee Havoc on Instagram. I'm still trying to figure out the replacement for TikTok. Or you could find our pod, Solving for X, on solvingforxmen.com, where we just have a lot of silly fun.
You can find me and my personal Instagram, KJEEZY87, or follow the other podcast that Sean and I do, Words of the Witches, on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube.
Also,
Those are
you're
very
really
fun.
lucky that you're 87. 1 year later, it could have been a problem. And then Ryan?
You guys can find me on Instagram at RYEORIO, or you guys can find me in the Solving for X comments. Sorry about that.
Ooh.
My little puppy just came and scared the crap out of me, so I got a little scared.
Bruno.
Puppers.
Dog tax. Let us see the puppy.
Oh my god, so
Bruno,
cute.
say
Is
hi.
that a Jack
You're on
Russell?
Nerd. He is a miniature schnauzer, and
Oh my god.
he's the runt of his
And-
litter, and he's the best little guy in the world.
Sorry, guys, he is the new
So sweet.
leading star of this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Nobody else matters about
He's got Disney
episode.
costumes. He's great. He looks great. He's
does.
very handsome. Yeah.
He dresses
Listen,
up
I
as
don't-
Jafar.
All right, you'll need to share some
Maleficent.
photos of him in Disney
I
costumes.
am ready
so we
for
can
him
post
to
those.
be like our prince. But,
All right.
you
well,
know, since beyond the excitement about the puppy,
If you have burning questions that you want to discuss with us, you can up your nerd cred. Make sure you like and subscribe, leave comments, and if we like your comment, we'll pick it out and shout you on the discussion segment.
Also, we have launched the Patreon, okay? And so while you should definitely follow the link in the show notes to join it, you should also make sure that you're getting your friends to like and subscribe to, and your family, and any of your coworkers that you trust not to be weird about listening to the same podcast as you. And is your podiatrist someone that you want to like actually recommend this from?
And good night, everybody.